Hey everyone, it's Facebook question of the week time, and as you can tell by my attire, winter has arrived in Chicago. I went from 80 degrees and sunshine in Orlando at the PRSA conference to rain and 30 degrees. Would you like to see? Yeah, oh, can you see? It's gross out there. Oh, you can also see the no longer existing building. It's gone. Ha! Anyway, it's Facebook question of the week time. This week's question comes from Christina Huerta, and she asks, should small, less than 100 staff companies create blog committees to review weekly blogs? And if so, what are positive, negatives, and do you have any examples of how to make blog committees work? For a point of reference, my company blog is keymarkenterprises.com/blog. Well, Christina, I'm not a fan of committees for anything, especially anything online. Committees, from my perspective, just create red tape and create issues that you probably don't necessarily need. I did take a look at your blog, and I have some comments and feedback on that. But before I go into that, I wanted to relate something to you, because after I got your question, I found this blog post from Andy Cernovitz, and he talks about SAP, and they have an 8-year-old social media program, and they show the patterns, moderns, and methodologies that have evolved over time. He walks them through, and I'll actually link to this in the blog post, but they have 2.5 million members with 8,000 active bloggers, 70% of them who are not SAP employees. So they have 8,000 active bloggers, and only 30% of those bloggers are actually employees of SAP. They all generate more than 4,000 posts a day on more than 360 platforms. I mean, so this is gigantic, and they don't have a blog committee. So I recommend not having a blog committee. I'm going to guess, based on the technical information in your blog, that you're probably looking for feedback in terms of how to create the technical kinds of pieces without having, if you don't have that kind of knowledge. Your blog posts are really technical, to keep using that word. Sort of the math and the algebra and the geometry in it is probably a little too much for most readers. You have to remember that from a blog perspective, you don't want to have more than 500 words. You typically only have a person's attention for about 2 minutes, and so you want to make it something that's really easy to comprehend, and your blog posts are really secondary level, like graduate level type information. So rather than have a blog committee, I would look at finding ways, for lack of a better term, to dumb down your content. But like I said, I'll post the link to the SAP slides where he talks about how they do that with 8,000 active bloggers. And I think IBM does a really good job with it as well. You know, obviously they're gigantic, but they're gigantic companies without blog committees. So no, I don't think you need to have one. Of course, others may disagree with me, and they can do so in the comments. And if you have a question for us, go to facebook.com/ArmintDietrich, leave it on the wall there, and I'll answer it in a coming week. See y'all later.